Now it's going.
Hello, thank you for joining us today. We have our very own Dr. G with us, touching on the topic of stress management in nurses. Dr. G, thank you for meeting with us and agreeing to this interview. We'd like to start off with the subject of nurses confronted with traumatic incidents, specifically patient death. And wondering, personally, professionally, have you had such an experience, and what was your response and processing to such an event?
Okay, sure. I want to start off by saying that nurses have the unique privilege of working at the bedside, and therefore they are in the front line in patient death, and this with no doubt can put an emotional strain on nurses. I distinctly remember the experience I encountered with the death of a neonatal infant early on in my nursing career, and I felt helpless, I felt distraught, and I felt overwhelmed with sadness. And I think what we do as nurses is we internalize those incidences, those events, and feel a sense of responsibility. So I chose to process my emotional reactions with peers, as I felt it has been and probably will continue to be a coping strategy. I think through talking, asking other peers how they've dealt with situations like that, and really trying to identify and create coping strategies. I think denying those feelings, suppressing those feelings, can have an adverse effect on the nurse.
Absolutely.
I think that it'll increase the amount of stress that's incumbent upon them. And so I think having a way to debrief is essential for the health of the nurse, and also coming to grips with those emotional aspects will really help the patient or the patient's family deal with end-of-life issues.
So you're also saying that it's important that you then find a coping strategy thereafter.
Absolutely. I think there are other methods to diffuse the stressful event of a patient's death, and I think primarily the nurse has to find ways to incorporate joy and peace into their lives. And knowing how precious life is, and we know how fragile it can be, one's emotions, to lose someone dear to us, or to lose a patient, we come to realize our own mortality. And I think taking better care of ourselves is so essential. And I refer to Gene Watson's theory of caring. It's not only caring for the patient, but caring for ourselves, not neglecting ourselves, and having a way to replenish what we sometimes lose, I think is most essential in patient care.
Okay. Why is that? Why care for yourself specifically?
Well, I think the more we care for ourselves, we have more to give. I think when we are at the point when we feel depleted, we don't have, you can't give what you don't have. And so I think staying strong, staying on top of it, getting physical exercise, maybe meditation, having good nutrition, all those things I do practice, and even more so when a stressful event comes about, because your body is experiencing that wear and tear, and I think it is so important that we stay strong and don't become somewhat the victim, in a case like in a case like this.
Okay, very good. Well, there you have it. Strategies for nurses and how to not only survive but to thrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.